Ministers, Mr. Ólafur Ragnar Grímsson, ladies and gentlemen, my name is skuldur Thorhallsson. I'm a former MP in Iceland. I was president of the Nordic Council in 2015, and I was nominated on behalf of Iceland to be the chairman of a working group to form a strategy for the Nordic North region. Could you please put, here. Thank you very much. As you can see, this is a huge area. And this is the Nordic area, Nordic cooperation. We have two organizations, more or less, Nordic Council of Ministers and Nordic Council. And as you can see, the land area is approximately the same. The west is 770,000 square kilometers, but the east is 860 square meters. But if you look at the exclusive economic zone, then you see that the west area, or the area we were dealing with, is 270,000 square kilometers, and the east is only 360,000. But if you look at the population, then you see that in the west, in Greenland, Iceland, Faroe Island, and coastal Norway, there is only 10% of the population in the Nordic countries. So we had the job to make a strategy. It was pointed out in 2011 by OECD that there was a lack of strategy in this area. And they pointed out that when the Nordic countries were working together in the Baltic area, having specific strategy for that, there was a need for some strategy in this huge area. And why? Well, we have heard today that the whole globe is watching. There is a huge international interest in this area. Opportunities are huge. The environmental is delicate. We have harsh weathers. We have very few people living there. But the natural resources are enormous and the opportunities is good. So in this strategy, which we made for more than 1 year, we traveled to all of the countries. We tried to meet as many people as possible, to get as much people as we could influenced and interested in our work. And this is the outline and the overview of our strategy. We began in October 2016 and finished in December 2017. Now it is in some committees of the Nordic Council of Ministers, and we are hoping that it will be accepted and approved by the minister before the end of this year, so it can be a strategy for next year. I have to run really quickly through this. There are a few things that I think is more important than another, and one of them is financing this area, funding this area. Of course, there are banks and fundings, and both international and national, who are helping for funding this area, but there is a huge lack of infrastructures. So if you want to use the opportunities, if you want to build infrastructure, you need funding. And the funding in this area is more risk-seeking than other funding for instance, in Sweden and Denmark. So NIB say that, well, we are bound by our statutes and we can't take too much risk. But there's a really importance, we think, that there is a funding that goes with projects back and through. Secondly, we want to keep our welfare system. We have places, we have people who lives in areas which are far away from each other. We are proud of our welfare system in the Nordic countries, but it has to go through all the areas. And we suggest that we use technology in our healthcare system in order to get the same result as we want in the Nordic countries. Yes, and of course, this is what I was speaking about. To go back, the focus point has been on the east side of the Nordic countries, but the pendulum has changed, and we think that if Greenland, Iceland, Faroe, and Norway, of course, can work better with our western neighbors, that could be a huge interest for our communities. And of course, it's our ocean. It's really delicate, really important. We need more cooperation in that area, and we have a lot of suggestions how we can do that. It is very vulnerable, and if you have some pollution or something like that, we think that cooperation in the Nordic countries are the best way to dealing with it. Then, of course, it's energy. Renewable energy and transport, really important, and safety in this area. This is all matters we can work better in a Nordic cooperation. And then it's tourism. We see the tourism boom in Iceland. I know that it is increasing in Greenland, it's increasing in Faroe and northern Norway, but our atmosphere and our nature is very vulnerable, so we have to have we have to work together in this area also. And then, of course, it's North Atlantic culture. There has been quite good cooperation, but that is maybe the one thing that we need to work better on. In the end, we have some suggestion how to implement this strategy. It will hopefully be part of Iceland's chairmanship in Nordic Council of Ministers in 2019 and part of Iceland's presidency in Arctic Council 2019 and 2020. We think that we are more likely to see it go through when Iceland is in charge. Sweden has now the chairmanship in the Nordic Council of Ministers. They are not so interested, but maybe they will later on. And then we have to decide where it will be located. There are huge possibilities, and I am hoping that this strategy will be accepted. And thank you very much.